guys, and welcome back to my channel. We are here to talk about week 3 of my bookkeeping business. And so I felt like this was a really emotional week for me. I would say that I probably hit a lag in my energy this week. I feel like starting a business is like super high energy and you're so excited and you're researching all the things and you're going and making your business card and you're making your logo and all the things that we've talked about in what I did in week 1 and week 2 of my bookkeeping business. But week 3 felt like a little bit of a wait, and it felt like some of the fun things were out of the way, and now I really had to start my business. And that was scary. It was scary to me to know what the right way to do it was. Did I make a post on Facebook? Do I not make a post on Facebook? Like I said, I hadn't made my Facebook page like published yet, and so I wasn't sharing content or anything like that. And the other thing that I wanted to make sure was that I started off slow. I did not want 5 people all of a sudden to be clients because I had never really done this for a client before. So what did that mean to have my first client? What kind of books were they gonna have? And so I felt like my research had peaked, and now it was time to actually get into bookkeeping. And so maybe you're at that point, or maybe you're just looking through the weeks and seeing what I'm doing and what you might be doing in the near future. So I did 3 major things this week, and I'm going to start with the first, which was really logistical because I felt like it could be a quick step for someone to do this week that I had put off. And so that first step number 1 for week 3, was to sign up for my QuickBooks Accountant Online membership or subscription. So I don't know why I had been putting this off. I guess maybe I felt like when I signed up that was going to make things like I had to do something online. And so I knew that I'd be interested in doing QuickBooks Accountant Online and having a login there, but I didn't know how many people that I was gonna have that were clients that would be wanting that service, and so I didn't wanna do it if it was for no point. However, there's something else that I'm gonna talk about that I did in week 3 that made me really happy that I did this part. And so you go to QuickBooks Online and you go to the accountant version, accountant. I've heard a lot of people say that on YouTube that I couldn't understand what they said. QuickBooks Online Accountant. So, and that was probably another reason why I didn't want to do it, was because I felt like I'm not an accountant. You know, I haven't done that yet. So why should I sign up for that? But it's free, and there's nothing like roping you in once you sign up. You literally just make an account. So I signed up for QuickBooks Accountant Online, and I kind of looked through a little bit, but I didn't really know what I was looking for. I just made the account. And this was actually where I'll end up making a video, or I'm going to make a video here soon, about the QuickBooks Online Accountant Pro Advisor training and courses and examinations online where you can get certifications. So I went ahead and signed up for that, which to me felt emotional. Maybe for you it's not emotional and it'll feel like, okay, this is easy. Maybe you've already done that. Maybe you did that in your first week of bookkeeping or starting your bookkeeping business. But for me, that was something emotional this week that I did. But step number 2 that I did this week that kind of flows into that is I messaged my first potential client. So it's really important here that I say potential client because I didn't know if this person was gonna want me as their client, but this was huge for me. Number 1, I had to find out who was I gonna message, and number 2 of that, emotionally, was what were they gonna think? Were they gonna judge me? Were they gonna think this is completely ridiculous? Were they gonna say, why would she be messaging me and wasting my time? Was I gonna be bothersome? I just had a whole host of things that I was confused, concerned. I was just a mess. But what I would say is that this is where things become real. This is what you have to do at some point. You have to do this. Otherwise, this is all just an idea and some pretty logos that you designed that you like yourself. So what I did was I went and I looked through Facebook, and I just tried to search about things, not search, but just kind of look through and take note of anybody that I knew that either knew someone who was starting a small business, maybe they shared someone that they knew their small business Facebook page, or maybe someone I knew was starting their own small business. And I urge you to do the same, right? Think about friends and family. Think about, I don't know, maybe someone you've seen on Instagram or something on TikTok or something you just heard about in your community. And anyone that you think might need your services. So this is really important. They might need you. That's what makes them potential. You might not reach out to a person and automatically get that client or have them be your first client. Maybe you're watching all these videos because you've had someone reach out to you, and that is awesome. If you already have someone that's reached out to you, then you're really looking at how do I become a bookkeeper for them? But for me, I'm already a bookkeeper for my husband. I needed to find someone else to really make this a bookkeeping business. So for me, what I did was I found someone that was kind of personal to me. So I birthed my children at a birthing center. And so there was a woman there who helped me birth one of my children that started her own midwife clinic. And so I thought, what's the harm? I love her dearly. She knows me personally. I know she's not going to judge me all that much for this. I'll reach out and message her. And I sent a super informal message on Facebook. And I sent it to her directly. I didn't even go through her business page. And I just said, hey, like, I'm so excited for you and your small business. I'm also starting a small business, and maybe you'd like to talk to me about bookkeeping. Or if you already have a bookkeeper, can you tell me a little bit about that process? Because I'm just trying to learn about how to get new clients. And how surprised I was. She said, I would love to have you as my bookkeeper. Now, fast forward a little bit, just so that you get a preview of what's going to happen here. We're not going to end up being first clients with each other. I just don't think that she's at that point, and it just seems like things have tapered off. I could be wrong, but this is not even a bad part of the story. This is actually a really good part because it made it easier for me in next week or in the next weeks to reach out to other people. But I had to take a first step somewhere. And so she reached out and she said, this would be something I'm interested in. Can we have a phone call? And so as I read this response, I was like super elated. I had like so much energy and also really nervous at the same time. It like reaffirmed that I was really doing this. And was it going to work? I don't know if it was going to work. I hoped it did. I don't feel like an imposter, but you know, this is my first time doing this. So it was nerve-wracking. So I made that phone call with her and kind of talked about where she was, what she wanted to do with the business, how much time she was putting into it. And then we decided that I'd follow up with an email after I looked into QuickBooks for her. So she had not started QuickBooks. She just had a paper trail of all of her things. But that's actually kind of good because you don't, not that I've done this before, but I'm speaking from the experience of researching people who have done this. There's a lot of cleanup that has to be done in QuickBooks if someone's already started it on their own. So this is where I kind of took her meeting and was like, okay, QuickBooks is legit now. I really need to push forward with understanding QuickBooks so that if she is my first client, that I'm ready to take on the tasks of importing all of her stuff into QuickBooks for her. And this also really pushed me to go ahead and do my certification, do all the exams through Pro Advisor so that I knew everything about QuickBooks and could say, hey, I've got you. I know this system now and I'm going to go forward with it. Okay. So sign up for QuickBooks Accountant online, reach out to your first potential client, and number 3 that I did this week was I reached out to a family friend who is a bookkeeper. For some reason, I got so worked up in myself becoming a bookkeeper, I forgot that I do know people, or at least one person, who does something similar to this. So in my small community, there's only a couple of tax and accounting offices and people, CPAs that do accounting for businesses and people in the county. And I didn't feel like I knew that many people who were bookkeepers in the community. And so that was kind of double-edged, right? So it's good that there aren't a lot of people doing this, but it's bad because that means I don't have anyone to reach out to. And then I thought about it for a while, and I know someone that I went to church with since I was a tiny girl, and she did bookkeeping for her father's business for a long time. And so I thought, why not just text her and reach out and see what she has to say? And much again to my surprise, she said, that's awesome. I'd love to talk with you about it anytime. So we set up a time in our schedules to meet together, and I just started asking her lots of questions. You know, did she think this was a good idea? Did she think I could do it part-time? how much time did she spend on bookkeeping, where to find a client, all of these different things. And I would say that that was a really good step for me this week because it gave me the emotional support that someone else that I know has done this and also believes that I could do it too. And so I would urge you to find that person. Maybe you just join a Facebook group online. I've joined a couple about bookkeeping and side hustling and stuff like that. And you could find someone in there to just direct message and say, hey, I'm just starting. Would it be okay if maybe we Zoomed or had a Google Meet about how you did it and whether you think I could do it and some of your personal questions? Because as much as it's nice to watch my YouTube video or watch somebody else's YouTube video, that person's still a stranger to you. And so until you make it a personal relationship, you're gonna feel alone. And for me, that's emotionally terrifying to feel all alone in this. There's a part of it that you like because you're independent and you're forging your own path, but you need someone. You need someone in your court saying, yeah, I've done that and you can do it too. And here's how. And here's some answers to some questions that you have. So again, I felt like week 3 was really emotional for me. It was a lag in my productivity, but it was really a true step in making this legit. And so I hope that wherever you are in your bookkeeping business journey, that this has helped you.